We had a freshman this year who developed a blister on the bottom of his foot and didn't seem to ever get any better, continued to get worse and worse. Then he ended up going to the doctor. We found out it was staph infection. Ended up being a pretty big deal. We had to have kids take equipment home, sanitize it, brought custodians in, shut the locker room down for a couple days. I've never really seen this in my previous experiences happen until just this last couple of years, and it seems like it's just like came out of the blue, and all of a sudden we've got this problem with staph infection, and I didn't think it would be something that I was dealing with as a football coach.
I've been coaching cheerleading for the past 8 years now, and just this season we had to withdraw from a couple competitions after one of our girls got a staph infection just from shaving her legs.
I've been coaching wrestling for 35 years, and in the last few years we've seen more and more incidents of skin infections, specifically the staph infection, which for us is scary because that can really shut our program down. We're doing all we can to keep our facilities clean, our wrestlers in and out of the showers as often as possible. We also know that in the Midwest there's been a program that's a Division I program that's had trouble with it, and we're really concerned and we want to get this taken care of.
USA Today has called it the new superbug. Time magazine has called it the killer bug facing America. Schools have been shut down because of it. And it's estimated that 60% of all infections seen in emergency rooms across the country are caused by this new superbug. What is it? Methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Now that's a lot of big words to describe a big problem. More than likely, you'll hear it referred to as MRSA or MRSA. Some people will simply refer to it as a staph infection. No matter what it's called, MRSA is spreading across the country at an alarming rate. In a nutshell, MRSA is bacteria that can live on skin and many other surfaces, like towels, floors, and even sports equipment. MRSA bacteria cause the type of staph infections we will discuss in this video. These staph infections are commonly referred to as MRSA infections. The emerging health problem is affecting people all over the country.
Last year, we had what we consider an epidemic of staph infection, an outbreak. Primarily focused on our wrestling team, but of our 1,200 kids, we had 19 that were diagnosed with some form of staph throughout the season, and of that, we had 4 that we believe were MRSA infections.
Been involved in coaching and athletic administration for about 22 years, and I'm at a school of around 1,300 kids, of which approximately a third of them are involved in our athletic program. And I'm concerned about educating our parents, coaches, and kids about MRSA and how to prevent it and how to treat it. With our decreased budgets in the last few years, we're short on custodial time. Our towel services have been non-existent. So it means that the battle's a tough one, and anything I can do to fight that and win, I'm all for.
Right now, we'll introduce you to MRSA and give you some solid information on this new challenge for parents and coaches. You will learn what MRSA is, where it came from, and what you can do about it. This is a very big problem, but there are things you can do right now to minimize the risk of a serious outbreak. First, let's hear from Dr. Mark Christensen, Professor of Pharmacy at Oregon State University.
Staph aureus is a bacterial or a microbe that most people have on their skin at all times. And over the years it can have caused infections, and so they developed drugs to treat that. One of that class of drugs is penicillin. In that class of penicillins is a drug called methicillin. Methicillin was designed to be non-resistant to the bacteria, but the bacteria have actually developed resistance to this bacterial penicillin, methicillin, and to many other types of antibacterials over the years, so that they're resistant to just about all classes.
In 2000, there were only about 100,000 reported cases of MRSA. 5 years later, that number had jumped to an estimated 5 million. MRSA has reached epidemic proportions in the United States. Let's find out how MRSA got to be such a serious problem so quickly. Here's Dr. David Bearden, a clinical associate professor and a clinician specializing in infectious diseases.
I think the introduction of the organism itself, the bacteria that causes the infection, once it got into the community, it was set up to to spread very quickly. And the specific strain that's out there now is something that really didn't exist in the current form, likely, up until the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, I think definitely the changes with community-acquired MRSA has become a new epidemic. And I think that MRSA as itself has been an epidemic for the last 20, 30 years, but certainly there's almost a new epidemic with community-acquired MRSA. The community-acquired MRSA risks were first seen in pediatric populations, so in children. And then we've also then started to see it in other populations. It was seen in prisoners as an early sentinel site. And then more and more we've seen it in athletics. So there's certainly been well-documented cases of seeing it in sports teams on every level, including professional football. I think that's really where we've started to really realize that this is a big issue. I think the key here is that the pathogen itself, so this community-acquired MRSA, is an organism that lives very well on healthy skin and that can infect healthy patients and doesn't need to have a debilitated host. So instead of seeing the elderly individuals or the people in the hospital with a lot of other disease states, this organism itself is set up to survive very well on an otherwise healthy person and has some factors involved in its genes that allow it to thrive actually in very healthy skin. So your younger people are just as at risk and in some cases seem to be at more risk than your typically older infected patient in a hospital.
Previously, I mentioned that some schools had been shut down because of MRSA. Here's how one school responded when faced with an outbreak.
How we addressed that was through education. We asked that teachers distribute information basically on identification of wounds, that it's any wound because people carry staph, that you need to take care of that we need to clean it properly, use appropriate antiseptic, and then keep it covered. And then we talked about maintaining a clean environment, not just in the athletic area, but in the classroom area, keeping it disinfected, keeping things available for kids, such as antiseptics, to clean up if they felt that they needed to do that. It was a kind of a scary time, but with that education, we feel like that we've gotten a handle on it, and mostly that we can address this. It's not going to go away, we know that, but teachers, people aren't so scared now, and they know this is what we need to do.
Athletic trainers are on the front line in the fight against MRSA. They play an important role in making sure their athletes stay healthy, especially with the increasing threat of staph infection. Educating athletes, their parents, coaches, and others about good hygiene and proper wound care is key to keeping athletes healthy and getting them back in the game. The 6 basic steps in a staph prevention program include treat and cover wounds, don't share personal items, shower after physical activity, properly clean gear and equipment, keep hands clean, consult your athletic trainer, physician, or coach about all active wounds. See, it's just as simple as that.
Water electrolyzed into alkaline and acidic water has proven to be effective in many ways. In our series featuring this so-called miracle water, we look again at how this water is being used in the medical field. Athlete's foot is a nasty fungal disease and a painful condition. It is very difficult to cure. Many people suffer from athlete's foot after wearing shoes for long periods of time. But athlete's foot can be cured just by water. Do you believe that it is just water that is used in this treatment? No, I don't believe it. Do you feel any pain in the affected part? No, I don't. If this cures it, I will tell others about this. This is Kiowa Hospital. At the hospital, athletes' foot, hands, and bed sores are treated only with water. The doctor says that unless there is infection, the troubled part will heal completely. It is necessary just to irrigate and apply a bandage. The treatment of this injury caused by a motorcycle accident was just dipping it in the water for 15 minutes. Do you think the water was actually a disinfectant solution? Yes, I thought it was a disinfectant solution at first, but later I learned that it was just acidic water. How did you feel about that? Well, I doubted it would heal the injury. Don't worry, the water has an excellent sterilizing effect. The electrolysis of water produces alkaline water at the cathode and acidic water at the anode. We are using acid water with a pH value of 2.6. This high acid water kills fungus, mold, and bacteria, though that may seem hard to believe. In this laser color microscope, you can see how the bacteria actually died. The bacteria you see moving here is spirilla, which is similar to the bacteria that causes syphilis. Acid water is poured over it, and it stops moving immediately. Bacteria such as spirilla and many others can only survive in an environment with a pH of between 3 and 4. With strong acid water that has a pH of 2.6, they don't stand a chance. We don't use antiseptics. We only use acid water. That's all. One of the patients allowed us to take pictures of his bed sores and how they healed. It worked right down to the bone. Bed sores, even this bad, are healed by only the water. It works better than any medicine. Electrolyzed acid water works well, especially for bed sores. We visited Akashi Hospital to look at some of the promising results. We only used electrolyzed water for treatment. No ointments, medicine, or other disinfectants were used. There's been no infection now for 2 weeks. The recovery from these bed sores has been very good. It is very surprising. It is amazing. This reporter was told that after the patients drank the electrolyzed drinking water, their feces became odorless. Despite the fact that the patients were wearing paper diapers, there was no fecal odor at all in the sick rooms. The patient recovery rate was in fact so rapid that more and more patients are getting around in wheelchairs. Because of the drastic improvements at the hospital, even doctors and nurses are taking the electrolyzed water home and drinking it. Our reporter went back to Kiowa Hospital to find out more advantages of alkaline water. We boil alkaline water to use it for making baby's milk. All the employees here usually drink tea made from boiled alkaline water. I hear you don't catch colds. No, everyone here is fine because they drink alkaline water. In this hospital, a machine from which patients can drink alkaline water was installed 7 years ago. There are people here who claim to have cured their sclerosis of the liver or diabetes, which are very hard to treat with Western medicine, simply by drinking electrolyzed alkaline water. This is Katsumi Nakanishi, who recovered from sclerosis of the liver. I drank a lot of water as I had a bad liver and it was always burning. My numbers went down and down. I am well now. Shigeru Takahashi, who recovered from diabetes, said, I could not believe the water could cure my diabetes in the beginning. I have been suffering from diabetes for 14 years, but the alkaline water cured me. What happens inside the body? We interviewed a doctor who teaches the effective use of this water on the body. The chief editor of the Water Society, Dr. Hidemitsu Hayashi. You will have clean feces if you drink the alkaline water, which detoxifies or neutralizes toxic substances like hydrogen sulfide and ammonia found in the feces. The toxic substances will start to decrease as you drink the water, and you will have a healthier liver, the organ which has the function of neutralizing toxic substances in the body. All of the organs in the body will start to improve, and you will feel better. Many diseases, including high blood pressure, stomach ulcers, and duodenal ulcers, improve as a result of drinking this water. According to our cameraman, Matsumoto, the patient we saw at the beginning, the one with athlete's foot, was cured in 2 weeks, and the man who had the motorcycle accident was healed in 3 weeks. It is really amazing. Tonight, we will report on more amazing effects of this wondrous water. We will show that atopic dermatitis, often called childhood eczema, can be cured by this water. Now it is time for our special report. Atopic dermatitis, or childhood eczema, is an illness accompanied by intense itching. Its cause is unknown, and it has been found that this almost incurable illness can be cured by this special water. We have been following patients with this skin disease as they were treated with this wondrous water for 6 months. Now we will report on our findings. Atopic dermatitis is painful, causing young children to cry all night because of the intense itching. They scratch so much that often their sheets are stained with blood. My son gets itchy in the middle of the night and cries and scratches intensely. It happens every night. We can't sleep either, so we are deprived of sleep all the time. For treatment, doctors use adrenocortical hormones or steroids. Even when the patient recovers temporarily, the condition always comes back, and the long-time use of large amounts of steroids has many adverse side effects. Recently, concerned parents of young children have begun to steer away from steroids. Now that this water treatment is in the spotlight, many patients visit Akashi Hospital here in Tokyo. Recently, many parents have turned away from steroids. They go to many different hospitals before they finally end up here. Twin sisters Saki and Yu Matsubara visited Dr. Shinkai at Atashi Hospital. Their parents wanted them to be cured without using steroids. Their bodies are red and covered with rashes. Okay, where do you want it next? How about your hands? For intense itching and inflammation, this strong acetic water of pH 2.6, which was especially developed for medical use, is applied. And for curing atopic dermatitis from inside the body, patients drink alkaline water. Both types of water are created by electrolysis. You can create this water using an electrolysis water generator made for home use. Although I don't force my patients to drink more than they can, by simply drinking alkalized water every day, the skin becomes really clean in about 3 to 4 months. There is an unavoidable problem when using this water with patients who have been on steroids. When they stop using steroids, they face withdrawal symptoms, and the situation is tough for a while. Mr. Tomita of Kyoto was told by Dr. Shinkai in detail about the withdrawal symptoms. He consented to the treatment of his 1-year-old son Ryuki without hesitation. Look at the area around Ryuki's mouth. It used to be this bad. But now, after 5 months of treatment, it looks nice and clean like this. None of the atopic dermatitis remains on his elbows or behind his knees. He has his clean, clear infant skin back. It was really bad when the treatment first began. He was covered with blood, but the bleeding would stop when we'd wipe him with tissues soaked with that water we got from Atashi Hospital. I'm amazed that he was cured just by water. Atashi Hospital is sending electrolyzed alkaline and strong acidic water to patients at cost. 11 months after he started the treatment, Ryuki was doing fine without any recurrence of the illness. He is now healthy enough to be able to eat eggs, which he couldn't do before because of allergies. Ryuki has a big appetite. He eats more than adults. He has a lot of energy now and is more active and has a lot of facial expressions. It has been 4 months since Saki and Yu switched from steroids to water treatment. The redness has gradually subsided and the itching is improving. They have only mild itchiness now. Their mother purchased this equipment as soon as it was put on the market. The machine creates exactly the same highly disinfectant, strong, acidic water as that created by the larger equipment for hospital use. How much improvement can you see in their atopic dermatitis after treatment with these waters? Since August, I have seen about 2,000 new patients. I think that in about 4 months, 80 to 90% of them will be cured. And when you include the ones who will take a little longer, almost every one of them will be cured. Experiments have been conducted to prove that electrolyzed water is effective in curing rash, too. Experiments were done in which DNFB, a benzene compound which causes a rash, was applied to the right ears of rats to see if any difference would be seen between the methods of treatment. As you can see, the rash on the right ear of a rat that was given alkaline water to drink has gotten better compared to the right ear of a rat that was given only regular tap water. It has been 7 months now since Saki and Yu started their water treatment. Yes, their skin became so clean. These two girls were really in bad condition. The redness and itchiness were very severe. It would have been clear to anyone that their condition was serious. Even so, their skin became this clear. Finally, in the last week or so, they stopped waking in the middle of the night. For the first time since the twins were born, the Matsubara family welcomed the new year without cries at night. There will now be pictures in the family album of twins with clean skin from now on. As you can see, strong acidic water does not have immediate effects on atopic dermatitis. They say you should expect to wait about 6 months before you see the change. It may take some time before you see the change, but it is water you're taking during that time, so there are no side effects. Yes, and if you were on steroids prior to the water treatment, they say it will take 3 months longer. This water treatment is also effective in adult cases of atopic dermatitis. Today we will report on some mysterious miracle water and how it prevents food poisoning. It is water that has been processed through electrolysis and made into alkaline and acidic water. They are being used in many different ways and the results are surprising. Today is the first of a series and it's about strong disinfectant water and food poisoning. With the rise in temperatures, the most dangerous time for food poisoning is approaching. Hello, now that summer is almost here, we'd like to check the safety of your shellfish and get some samples from you. Market sanitation inspection officers are here at Tsukiji Market in Tokyo to check the sanitary conditions of the fresh shellfish. What's the temperature? It's 7 degrees centigrade. Okay, one more sample. A bacterium called Vibrio is one cause of food poisoning. It likes salty water and thrives in shellfish regardless of its freshness. So these inspection officers visit the market periodically to take samples of shellfish and to check the sanitary conditions. Food poisoning makes you very sick. There were almost 40,000 cases of food poisoning in Japan in 1990. Food poisoning causes vomiting, diarrhea, exhaustion, high fever, and headache. It is said that once food poisoning occurs, restaurants suffer loss of business for the next 10 years. So they are very careful about it at this time of year. Bacteria called vibrios live in ocean water. They attach themselves to fish and are taken to land in the catch. These are salmonella. They can be found in the eggs and meat you purchase. Other bacteria that cause food poisoning are staphylococci and colon bacilli. They are also found inside our bodies and can multiply if conditions are right. The top left of these Petri dishes coming up are salmonella, top right is staphylococci, center is vibrios, bottom left is colon bacilli, and bottom right is cereus. If the bacteria that cause food poisoning are hiding in the food, this kind of a party will not be a very fun experience in a couple of hours. However, there is no need to worry anymore. Strong disinfectant water can now prevent food poisoning. This restaurant is Nihon Kaku, located in front of Nakano Station in Tokyo. The staff here can serve up to 3,600 people, preparing over 2 tons of food a day, including vegetables, meat, and fish. 100% of the food brought into Nihon Kaku has some kind of bacteria on it. So we have to eliminate the bacteria entirely before we start to prepare the food. There are 16 water faucets set up in the kitchen with very strong disinfectant water. Raw meat, the cutting boards, and everything else is washed with this water. We've been using this strong acidic water for washing for about 7 months now. We tried to get rid of these bacteria before, but we were not able to do so completely. Now, as long as we use this disinfectant water, we will be safe. The easiest way to find out whether there's bacteria or not is to culture them in agar. The colored Petri dish contains colon bacilli, and the non-colored one another type of bacteria. We will take a sample culture from a woman's hand both before and after washing. Samples were also taken from the cutting boards and meat. Now we're going to look at 4 Petri dishes 24 hours later, and these will show the results of bacteria culture 24 hours after. A big difference is seen. Left, hands before washing. Right, hands after washing. This is the result of the cutting board surface before and after washing. There's absolutely no bacteria seen anywhere. Dr. Matsuo of Miura Electronics is the inventor of the water processing machine. First, tap water comes in this way. In order to electrolyze the water easily, we add some salty water, which makes it conduct electricity better. Then direct current is applied to the water, and that is how electrolysis is done. When you perform electrolysis on water, by adding salt and direct current to it, you can create alkaline water on the negative side and strong acidic water at a pH of 2.7 or lower on the positive side. When bacteria come in touch with the strong acidic water, they die immediately. Another condition that affects bacteria is the water's oxidation reduction potential, or ORP. The remaining chlorine and oxygen in the water also help to eradicate bacteria. In the kitchen at Nihonkaku, no bacteria that causes food poisoning are present anymore. Is it the water that does the disinfecting? I haven't seen the results of the water analysis, so I cannot really say. But let's have a look at the world's first color laser microscope. You will see salmonella bacteria moving around. Soon we'll put a drop of strong acidic water on the bacteria. The moment the water contacts the salmonella, they die. On the right, you will see before the strong acidic water was added, and on the left, after the acidic water was added. Drinking this water causes no harm at all to the body. It is very mysterious water. Here at Nihonkaku, after the dishes are prepared and ready to serve, the food wagon is covered tightly with plastic wrap to prevent the invasion of bacteria, and it is stored in the refrigerator until serving time. Soon the wedding reception will be in full swing, and we hear the sounds of families and friends clapping as they welcome the newlyweds. To me, it sounds like they are clapping for the disinfectant water that prevents food poisoning. This is amazing. Is this for real? Yes, it's for real. Normally when we talk about water disinfectant, we are talking about chlorine. But if you can disinfect with just water, problems such as stringent odor and harmful side effects will be solved. Most of the world's scientific research on drinking water has taken Again tonight, we are reporting on a wondrous water. We have previously reported on other uses of this water. The water is used as a substitute for agricultural chemicals as well. Here's a variety of brightly colored fruits and vegetables. My favorite is a cucumber, but I worry about the effects of chemicals on them. Cucumbers are vulnerable to many diseases, and especially those grown in greenhouses must be sprayed often. Without spraying, only 10% of the cucumbers survive. However, we found a farmer named Toshigi who grows cucumbers without chemicals. They use water, which is not harmful to our health, but which does destroy mold. Tap water comes into this machine and is separated into alkaline water and acidic water. When the water is put through electrolysis, it separates into alkaline and acidic water. Alkaline water collects at the positive pole, and the negative pole attracts strong acidic water with a pH of 2.6. This is done very rapidly. The strong acidic water kills germs that cause all kinds of cucumber diseases. One healthy cucumber plant yields about 100 cucumbers. That is why farmers hate the diseases that threaten their crops. All harmful bacteria are destroyed on plants that are sprayed with the acidic water. It is surprising that the white mildew was killed and removed by the powerful sterilizing power of the acidic water. The difference is clear between a plant treated with the water and one that was not treated. Without the acidic water, chemical sprays would be needed. If chemicals were used on these cucumbers, I wouldn't want to eat one right off the vine, but in this case, I decided to try one. It is fresh and delicious and smells good. You can eat these cucumbers without worry, even without washing or cooking. Golf is a favorite sport in Japan. Golf course greens are normally treated with chemicals, which cause many environmental problems. Two years ago, we conducted an investigation of chemicals used on golf courses. We found that an average of 2.7 tons of 50 different types of chemicals are used each year on a typical golf course. Some chemicals stay in the soil for a long time and become a source of pollution. I am using ionized acidic water with a pH of 2.6. At Atsugi Country Club, they have been trying to reduce the use of chemicals by using acidic water. A beautiful lawn can die quickly from any one of many diseases. When this happens, it is very costly for the golf course. This golf course decided to try killing germs with strong acidic water created by electrolysis. Now we spray acidic water weekly during warm weather and once or twice a month when it is not so warm. Why does this water kill germs? Germs can't live in an acidic environment below 3.0 pH. This strong acidic water has a pH of only 2.6, and it kills germs on contact. Other features of the water also help to kill the germs. We are trying to cut our use of chemicals by 80%. Soon we hope to cut out the use of chemicals completely by using this water. The farmers who are freed from using chemicals are most pleased. Now they can work in light clothing, sneakers, aprons, and jeans. I used to be afraid to work in a hot house when I was pregnant because of the chemicals. Now I feel safe. We asked her to put on the clothes she used to work in when they used chemical. I worked in this raincoat, rubber boots, gloves, sun visor, and mask. It was hot and uncomfortable, and that made the work even harder. Alkaline water produced by electrolysis is also used to grow crops. Alkaline water dissolves nutrients from the soil much better than normal water. As a result, things grow bigger. At this time of year, farmers use chemicals once a week. By using this water, these farmers have not used chemicals at all so far, and still the cucumbers are thriving and delicious. I am sure this will be the method for chemical-free farming in the future. Because the water is highly acidic, you might be concerned about its effects, but according to the staff's experiments, the acid water changes to ordinary water in the soil. We have reported on many uses and benefits of this miraculous water, and we've been startled by these wonders.
In 1968, Dr. Shinya successfully developed the technique of colonoscopy in order to visualize the entire rectum and colon. The following year, in 1969, he devised a snare cautery device and was the first to perform colonic polypectomy through the colonoscope. He has performed approximately 300,000 colonoscopic examinations and has noted that there appears to be a strong connection between intestinal appearance and lifestyle-related diseases. This video depicts a variety of different intestinal views, good and poor, related to various colonic and other diseases. He emphasizes the importance of lifestyle and healthy eating habits, which are critical to longevity and maintaining optimal health. This is a 45-year-old female. Her intestine is very soft, easily inflated by air, well-rounded without any residual stool or mucus abnormality. She has been on Dr. Shinya's diet for over 5 years. 75-year-old female. Some fecal mucus is noted in this picture, which implies she needs to drink more Kangen water daily. This is a 38-year-old Japanese woman who has been suffering from chronic constipation for many years. Her diet consists heavily of a Western-type menu, including white bread, yogurt, cheese, fruits, and cake once a day. She consumes 3 to 4 cups of coffee and tea a day. There was insufficient daily intake of water. She has been on various kinds of laxative every day, including Seneca, aloe, and other herbal medications for years. There are marked pigmentation and spasm. This is the same Japanese woman. She was instructed to drink Kangen water 3 quarts per day. Her condition has markedly improved. 45-year-old female with breast cancer. 6 months prior to this exam, she had a lumpectomy and radiation treatment. There are marked fecal retention in this picture. The same patient following Dr. Shinya's diet started to drink 3 quarts of Kangen water a day. Her condition markedly improved. This patient has been suffering from prostatic CA, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. His diet consists of high protein, red meat, and dairy products every day. His colon shows narrowing and some diverticular disease and fecal retention in each segment of the colon. Same patient after prostate cancer surgery. He was placed on Dr. Shinya's healthy diet program. Although the colon revealed marked diverticular disease, his colonic appearance has improved. There is no evidence of stool retention or narrowing of the colon. This 65-year-old female with chronic constipation had breast cancer surgery and was referred for colonoscopy. Examination showed marked stool retention in many areas of the colon despite 2 days of preparation. The same patient was treated with a typical Dr. Shinya's diet and 1 quart of Kangen water 1 hour before each meal. Examination was repeated in 3 months. There was marked improvement in the colon. This patient had been a heavy wine drinker with a heavy animal protein diet, including cheese. After 3 months treatment, the patient was treated with Dr. Shinya's diet without any alcohol, dairy, and animal protein. He was given 1 quart of Kangen water and his condition improved. In conclusion, in lifestyle-related diseases such as diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease, and various types of cancers are directly linked to your diet. If you eat a proper diet and drink good water, it will prevent you from being constipated and developing diseases. The stool is not stagnant, therefore toxic wastes are not accumulated in the bowels. You are what you eat and what you drink. I hope this video was educational for you. To your health. Thank you.
Let us see how this type of water affects human blood. The doctor is drawing blood from a patient's finger. Using a special microscope, we shall be able to see the condition of her body from this drop.
These are red blood cells, and they've lost their electrical charge, so they're all stuck together in a formation called a rouleau. Here's a huge symplast. Symplasts are associated with heart disease and arthritis and lung disease and many other conditions that could be coming in the future.
The doctor asks the patient to drink a small amount of structured water. After 12 minutes, the doctor again draws blood from the patient and studies it.
So you can see that the cells then become buoyant, they become slippery, and they have their electrical charge, so they repel each other. That allows them to carry oxygen, and it means that we're changing the pH of the blood back to an aerobic environment rather than an anaerobic environment. I think that's utterly amazing.
In Japan, since 1992, several Japanese TV stations broadcasted a series of daily news reports on a product called ionized water, also called Kangen water, but they labeled it miracle water. Ionized water, aka Kangen water, is formed by tap water going through an electrolysis process. First, the water is filtered from contaminants. Then it goes through a platinum-plated electrolysis chamber, in which the water is ionized and is divided into 2 types of water, alkali and acidic. Alkali water is also known as negative water because of the active hydrogen which acts as an antioxidant. In Japan, many hospitals use ionized water, aka Kangen water, for curing complicated diseases. This patient had a bad case of diabetes and had to have his leg amputated from the knees. However, the doctor experimented with acidic water in which he bathed the leg first. And concurrently, the patient drank 1.5 gallons of alkali water a day. The result, surprising. He only needed to cut the tip of his toe, and other than that, full recovery. These are pictures of innocent children with very serious skin problems. Also, here are some adults that have suffered with this problem for years. You can tell by the pictures how much they are suffering. Initially, they used Western medication to no avail. Then they tried the Kangen water, aka ionized water. They drank the alkali water first and were treated with the acidic water on their skin. One could see dramatic results within a few weeks of treatment. In Japan, some hospitals use the acidic water to treat bed sores for bedridden patients. The results is better than regular medication. These patients also drink Kangen water and have had a positive effect on their health. In daycare centers, the fortunate kids will have used this water since they were born and will be using this water for generations. Why does Kangen water and acid water have miraculous results? According to Dr. Shirata and many other scientists, oxidization from free radicals have become the cause of the majority of known diseases today. Oxidization occurs when an oxygen molecule has an overabundance of electrons, which then damages cells in the body. However, when active hydrogen combines with the free radical oxygen, then the result is water. The water which helps the detoxifying of the cells. During this process, your body is able to shift from acidic to alkaline.
A doctor who won the Nobel Peace Prize reveals a pH alkaline miracle that can help de-age and energize your body no matter what your current health or age, by ending acid overload and bad body chemistry. Just as acid rain kills forests, acid overload ruins your health. To be healthy, young, and vigorous, you must detoxify your body cells of acid overload by boosting your alkaline level. Doctors confirm it.
This process happens because Kangen water is a negative water. Remember, the negative water contains active hydrogen, which acts as an antioxidant. Also, an alkali body will help with your energy level, reverse sickness, and help with rejuvenation. Scientists proved of the acidic water by the use of the colored laser microscope. This is a view of the active germ cells. But once strong acid water was introduced to the sample, all the germs were suddenly destroyed. Here is a look. Look at the drastic difference between the after and before shot. In Japan, Kangen water is popular in restaurants, hotels, daycare centers, and even hospitals. In restaurants, acid water is used for sterilization and cleaning. They use the alkali water, aka Kangen water, to make the best soup and other dishes. In hotels, acid water is used for sterilization and cleaning without the use of detergents. Many hospitals in Japan uses the strong acid water for sterilizing surgical equipment, for disinfecting the operating room, and they even use it for washing hands for surgical preparation instead of the typical normal soap and water routine. The reason why this water can be used this way is because the pH value of the water is 2.4 or less, which can kill all germs and viruses. In Japan, the Kangen water is used for farming and on golf courses. The farmer uses the strong acid water instead of pesticides and get just as good as results. The Kangen water is put on the fruit and makes it grow larger and taste better. Now, on the golf courses in Japan, the acidic water is used to kill the insects on the fairway, which helps the turf keeps its beautiful green color. After all that you have seen and heard, you should be able to imagine the value of the Kangen and acid water to your health and your environment.